Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Adam, and today I'm going to be doing some ribs for a friend of mine's going away party. And I'm also going to do a new thing for my wife and I. I'm making some ribs, but I'm going to do a little different seasoning. I'm on a diet, and it's the keto diet, so you know, no carbs and no sugars and whatnots. But the best thing about pork is it's 0 carbs, so it's healthy, just like lettuce. It has 0 carbs as well. So I'm going to try it out. So stay tuned for that, and I'm also going to give a little story time about my friend who has going away today and how we met. And obviously, if you don't want to watch that, you can fast forward. And I'm also going to give you a little tidbit information about this patch I'm wearing right here. I know it looks goofy on my hat, but it's a patch, and in the Air Force in particular, we collect these things. So each patch has a story behind it, and I'm going to share that with you all. So just stay tuned. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put a base coat down of mustard or any type of adhesive for the spices and whatnot. So I'm just going to use the simple mustard everybody uses all the time. It's kind of like the go-to for a lot of pork and whatnots. You're just going to squirt it on there. You're not really going to taste the flavor of the mustard. It's more of just like to stick on there and hold all the stuff down. So we're gonna do that real quick. Oh no, I soiled my other glove. Oh, you wanna get on all the sides. You wanna make sure that the whole thing is covered. And I don't take the membrane off because it doesn't bother me. For all the ribs that I made for people, they don't seem to mind either. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Now, that being said, I've never been in a competition, and I know that they, I guess, take it off for the competitions, but, well, this isn't a competition. So, anyways, so once that's good, you're gonna want to apply your rub. Now, I typically like it's like half Texas style, half whatever I want to do. So you got to put down some salt and pepper. So this one right here is going to be for me. All right, this is mine. These other 3 are for other people. 2 are for a good friend of mine that's having a going away today, and the other one's for a guy I work with who's also a friend. So we're going to try and make these really good for him. Alright, so a little salt and pepper. Go on, there you go. It's just a light. You don't want to lay it on thick like the brisket because it's not that big of a piece of meat. That's what she said. And then we're gonna. Man, I'll tell you what, guys. I can lay this crap on pretty well here. And I gotta watch my swearing. Apparently last time I offended some people, and so I'm not gonna swear that much. I'm gonna try not to. Can't help it. And then yeah, that's it. Okay. So this is a sugar-free, carb-free rub that I made. Carb-free and sugar-free, obviously. If it sounds familiar, that's a healthy way. I say it's healthy, but whatever. I'm trying to watch the intake of LBSs and other things. So no carbs, no sugar for me. There we go. Just gonna lay this on here. Nice little coat. So you guys are wondering what's in this. Well, let me tell you. So I got pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Did I say pepper already? Well, there's more pepper in there. And some of this stuff right here. I don't know if you guys have zoomed in or not. It's called Everglade seasoning. It's like a all-purpose seasoning. It's pretty darn good. If you guys can find this on Amazon, it's pretty good. Okay, so now that side's done, I'm gonna get to the other ribs on these ones. So I got my trademarked Cope and Smoke. That's my name. and that's what I do with the food. So we're gonna powder this on. Now this seasoning blend is a lot different. Well, not really. It has a lot of sugar in it, white sugar, brown sugar, same thing, paprika, but also has ginger in it, which is pretty good on ribs if you guys have ever had it. Get it all on there. Alright. So now that the back sides are all seasoned, we're going to go ahead and flip them over and do the same thing on the top sides. I'm really nervous about getting this one mixed up with the other ones. Alright. Yeah, they mustered them up. So while I'm doing this, it's kind of boring because there's nothing going on. But so I'm going to tell you about the cook today. The Yoder at 220 degrees the whole time. 4 hours will be unwrapped and getting as much smoked flavor as possible. And then I'm going to take them off, wrap them up with some aluminum foils, and put some, I'll probably put some vinegar in there, maybe some apple juice. And then, after the 2 hours is up, I'm going to take them out and put them back on the Yoder uncovered, and start to do the barbecue process where I put some barbecue sauce on them and get the nice glaze and, you know, caramel color going on. It's gonna be great. Alright, so these are mustarded up. I'll do mine first here. So a little bit of this going on. Oh shit, crap, sorry, that was a swear, my bad. It's alright. Hopefully these are pretty flavorful. I've never done this rub before. I just threw it together. Hopefully it tastes good. I know I'll hear about it if it's not. Okay. Okay, so now it's time for the other ones. I just love the way it looks with the salt and pepper. Man. Okay. These are some big ribs here. Jeez. All right. Oh, almost grabbed the wrong one. Oh, watch out. All right. Come on. I would love to give you guys the exact ingredients for the rubs that I make, but I can't because you know, I haven't gotten paid for them yet. I'm gonna put them out there, so I'm just gonna wait until I become real famous, and then maybe I'll put them out. I don't know. I always told myself I never sell out and go all chain and whatnot, but hey, money talks, right? So maybe I'll keep something out so it'll never be the same as what I really make, but be close. Put it on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sweat the meat a little bit with the rubs on there. It's gonna get all nice and, I don't know the word for it, but if you look at this one, if If you can see, it's kind of like already happening. So that's good. I want to put a little bit more on there. Just good. That's good. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to put these things on here. I learned my lesson last time. Taking the camera out, it got all fogged up. So I'm not going to do that. But if you guys can just close your eyes and pretend that you're with me, put them on the Yoder, then it'll be perfect. Alright guys, so while the ribs are on, it's time to for me to tell you guys about this patch that I'm wearing. So every episode I want to wear a different patch and explain to you all what the patch represents, and sometimes there's a story behind each patch, and it's sometimes a funny story, but the patches we get in the Air Force, and I don't know about Marines or the Army or Navy or Coast Guard, but we like to, when we go TDY, to give patches to other service branches. It's kind of like a morale thing, and it's pretty awesome, and it's fun. So anyway, this patch represents the 35 years of air superiority of the F-15 at Kadena. I got this patch in 2015, and that was the 35-year anniversary. The F-15s arrived in Kadena 1979, the later end of 1979, so 1980, and it has been providing protection and keeping the Pacific area at bay. So yeah, the F-15s have been flying over, ready to put warheads on foreheads and take care of business, because that's what they do. As you can see here, there's the 67th Fighting Cocks patch and the 44th Vampire Bats patch. I know back then, a long time ago, I'm not sure when they shut down, but it used to be the 12th Fighter Squadron. They were the Dirty Dozen. There was a you joined all the squadrons together. There was a little saying. It was called they were the Dirty Cocksuckers. Sorry, my French, but that's just what they said. Of course, it was a different time back then, and nobody was weak, and they could take, certain things, certain words, and not get offended by them. But today's different, so I apologize if you're offended. But yeah, let's talk about this patch a little bit. It's freaking really nice. They did a lot of good detail on here. You got the F-15 silhouette. You have the outline of the Okinawan island here, and you have 35, obviously, and then the ZZ tail flash. The tail flash is what's on all the Air Force jets, and I'm assuming other Army aircraft and Marines or whatever. It just represents what base they come from. For when other aircraft are flying around, they can see their tail flash, say, okay, that jet's from such and such. But that's it. This patch is pretty rare. I know I haven't seen any in the ops building or anything like that sell most of the patches. So I probably wouldn't trade this one to anybody unless it was like another special patch. But they're collectible, and well, when I say collectible, it sounds kind of weird, but a lot of people collect them. I, for one, collect them, and my wife as well. She's not in the military, but she works with other military members, and she gets patches as well. So she thinks it's special as well. So yeah, I almost traded this one time, and I took it back at the last minute because I couldn't. So yeah, if anybody out there has a nice patch they want to trade for this one, I might do it. Maybe. But anyways, that's it. That's not really a funny story or anything like that, but it's a nice patch, and I like it a lot. So there you go. Hey guys, welcome back. The ribs are done. They've been on for about 4 hours now, and I'm going to start to wrap them. So the first thing I do is I get the tin foil out, and I make sure I double foil it so that the bones don't rip through and cause holes and all the goodness leaks out. So everyone has their own way to do things. The way I do things is my way, and I like it. So what I do is I take some of my spray, which is just apple cider vinegar and sometimes water or apple juice, whatever you want to do, and I will just make a little shwimmy shwam thingy hang, how you doing, right here. Do that, whatever you want to do. And then I take some of my homemade barbecue sauce, which is right here, and it's really good. I can't tell you what's in it because you know, I haven't gotten paid. So I'm going to do this. I'm just kidding, guys. If you guys want the recipe, you know who I am. I can definitely give it to you. But I'm not going to give it to you over the internet because of people I don't know, evildoers and whatnots. So you take it, you just want to make a little base coat, and you want to get some sauce on here to kind of make like a steamer effect and get all that juices flowing out of the ribs. We're going to be barbecuing them once they come out, guys, so don't think that you have to add a crap ton of barbecue sauce here. So you're just going to do that until you think it looks good. And I think it looks good right there. Okay, so then you take your first rack of ribs, and they turned out pretty good so far. They said they've just been on for 4 hours, and they're looking pretty swell, if you will. Flip it over, and I'll lay it face down in there. I'll do that. And then, very simple, you just take the foil here and make sure you don't get more than you need. And I'm gonna lightly press it down, because if you press it too much, it's gonna poke a hole, and you don't want that. Like this, just enough here, and you'll fold them over. And the trick is you just want to keep the like a nice little seal in here and keep it from leaking out anywhere. This is gonna make the bones or the meat fall off the bones or come off like pulling. I don't like when meat just like falls off. It just whatever. But some people do. But I'm gonna make them the way I like them because no one else is complaining. So there's one. That's done. So I'm gonna put it face down like this on the smoker for about 2 hours, and then we'll take them off and then flip them back over and barbecue sauce them for the rest of the hour. But we'll get into more of that when it's time. So I'm gonna put them over here to hold until I get done with the other ones. And I'm gonna do the exact same things with the other ones, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the tape. And the next time you'll see me is when we're saucing them. Alright guys, I just pulled the ribs off of the smoker. They've been on for about 2 hours wrapped now. I'm going to unwrap them and see how they turned out. Hopefully they turned out good. Oh shit. There's a lot of juice here. Whew. Oh man. Well, there's definitely some pullback, which is good. Oh man, this is a lot of... Oh man, it's going to be hot. Woo! Alright, got my handy dandy little barbecue stuff thing here. I'm gonna pour this in. I'm gonna use this to coat them when I put them back on the smoker, so that it's like a barbecue sauce mixed with the meat, the juices, and you don't want to get rid of those juices, guys. It's really makes the ribs turn out really good. Alright, contestant number 2. Here we go. Oh, yes. Oh, man. Alright, well, this one looks like it's turned out very pleasant as well. Ooh. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other ones, and then I'm going to baste them and put them back on the smoker, and I'll show you what they look like when they're all done. Alright, thanks guys. Alright. So now comes time for me to tell you about my friend that I'm doing the ribs for. I'm not going to give you his real name, but I'll give you his call sign, which is, he's always gone by, which was Mike. So if you guys know who I'm talking about, obviously you know who he is. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, you wish you did, because he's a great guy. So anyway, let me take you back to 2008, the first time I met him. And he was higher ranking. And I was just a lowly airman, and so I'm brand new to the flight line, and I'm out at the F-15, which, if you don't know what F-15 is, it's the best jet in the world. Here's a little example right there. Yeah, that sexy piece of ace right there. Right? Awesome jet, best jet ever. And if you're wondering what the stick is for, it's so I can play with it. So there you go. I do play with it sometimes. That's what I'm talking about. I play with that. Anyways, dirty people. So I get out to the flight line, and it's cold in Okinawa. It's like February, and it's cold. It's a tropical island, but let's be real, it can be cold at like 55, 60 degrees. You know, the wind's blowing, it's always humid out. You know, anyway, so I'm trying to keep my hands warm. There's on the F-15, there's an exhaust. It comes out the side, and it blows out hot air, and it's a nice way for us crew chiefs to get up there and warm our hands. So anyway, I'm on a communication cable with the other guys trying to refresh my memory with all this launch and stuff. And one of the cables around my leg, you know, and he's like, hey man, can you move out of the way? I gotta get this cable. I'm like, yeah, no problems. So I jump over, right? I'm sorry, let me take that back. I leap over, and you know, I think nothing of it. And then he tells me, he's like, hey man, he's like, Mike is behind you. I'm like, who's that? He's like, oh, it's the Pro Super. I'm like, what? I turn around, and there's Mike in the truck behind me, and he's like pointing at me and, you know, directing me to get in the vehicle. And I'm like, what the hell? So I walk over, and he's just like, what rank are you? And I was like, oh, I'm a senior airman. He's like, interesting. Why is a senior airman jump a rope on my flight line? And before I could even defend myself, he was just like, I don't want to hear it, blah, 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 you know, and like started yelling at me, and I'm just like, oh my god, this guy's crazy, intimidating. What are you talking about? I wasn't jumping. And he was like, are you new here? I was like, yes sir. He's like, and he was asking me all these other questions. And in the military, well, in the Air Force, at least in my career field, we don't really like to give paperwork, which is a bad thing. So we make people do nonsense things, or things that like are kind of like stupid, but it's kind of one of those things that you won't do it again because it's that stupid. And it's better than getting paperwork, because paperwork follows you everywhere. So anyway, he tells me that he wants me to write a 1,000 word essay on why safety is important on the flight line, and he wanted me to handwrite it and then type it. So I was like, okay. So I'm scared. I get out, and he drives off, and I get back on the comms set, and he asked like, what happened? I was like, oh, he just yelled at me. And he's like, oh, did he tell you to write an essay? I was like, yeah. He's like, haha. He's like, he's maybe wrote like 6 of those things. I was like, okay. So, oh, and he said he wanted it by Friday, that Friday. And it was like a Tuesday, I think. So I avoided him like the plague that whole week. I was trying to stay out. I could hear his voice or see my duck behind things and just stay out of the way. And freaking, I didn't write it. It was like Thursday, and I remember like saying something to my wife about it, and she's like, "You didn't even write that yet." I was like, "Oh shit." Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. So I hand wrote it, and it was I finally did it. It was probably not even close to 1,000. It was probably like 600 words, 700 words maybe, but it looked like a third grader had written this. A very handsome third grader, might I add. And so I was like, okay, well I have this. I was gonna just type it up and I was turning it in. So Friday came, and I didn't see him, so I didn't think anything of it, and whatever, and it was forgotten. And I would say about a month and a half go by, and maybe a month, and I'm on night shift, and we're cleaning up the flight line with all the age equipment, and me and one of my friends, Fiol, we're like cleaning up stuff, and he gets out, and the Air Force is super safety conscious, like. The weirdest things that you would do daily on a day-to-day basis, Air Force has a rule about it, and you have to like wear like 18 gloves to like do stuff. It's weird. Goggles, glasses, gloves, everything. So anyway, we're backing up, and you have to have a spotter to back up to the equipment. So I'm trying to hurry up, and I'm backing up, and Fuel's not there. He's like looking somewhere else, and I back up to it. I get out, I hook up the stuff, I'm getting ready to drive off, and here comes Mike again. He's like, God damn it, you know, but what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm clean up the line. He's like, where's your spotter at? What are you doing out here? You're gonna like back into something, and you're gonna get hurt, or you're gonna destroy it, blah, blah, blah. Let me see your driver's license. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I show him my driver's license, and he looks at it real quick. He's like, oh, well, you need to have a spotter. And I'm thinking in my mind like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna get so in trouble. I'm gonna get paperwork, here we go. And he, before he drives off, he was like, don't think I forgot about that essay either. I want that. I was like, yes, sir. And he like took off. My buddy Phil got in, and he's like, what happened? I was like, oh man, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, it's okay. Just you know, try to avoid him some more. And he was like, at least you had everything. I was like, oh yeah, I did. And I showed him my driver's license at the time, and it was still from my last base, Seymour Johnson, North Carolina. So I was kind of illegal there, but luckily he didn't see it because it was too dark. There you go, Mike. I got that one for you. So anyway, at this point, I'm like, all right, I got to redeem myself. I got to show them that like I'm a good worker, blah blah blah. So when I was in the 44th, the Vampire Bats Squadron last time, they had this thing called Eagle Bucks. So if you got 3 Eagle Bucks, you got a day off. And CTO days in my career field are like better than money. A day off away from all the stress stuff is awesome. So everyone was always trying to get a day off, a CTO day. And so I'm on mid shift, which is like from 11 at night to like 5 in the morning. Sometimes it differs depending on the flying hours. But I remember hearing on the radio, Mike was like, hey, there's a sandbag over here that kind of blew up and it's made a big pile. It's messy and you just have someone to clean it up. Before anyone could even say anything, I took off running. And we had a place where we store all the brooms, and I grabbed them all, and I was running, and I'm running past, and I'm like, I gotta get an Eagle Buck. I took every broom, so no one else could even help me, because I wanted the freaking Eagle Buck, and I wanted a day off. And I ran past Mike, and I'm like, so you see me, I'm running towards it, you know, and I'm over there sweeping. I throw all the brooms out, start sweeping, and he comes hauling ass over, and he's like, Cope, what is wrong with you? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, why are you running on the flight line? And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't catch a break. And so we, that was probably the last spout that we had. And we went TDY to Alaska, and it was a great time. And we kind of got to know each other a little better there. And I would say our relationship became a positive note when we went to a Denny's and got the Lumberjack special, and I got the nickname Lumberjack. But previous to that, I forgot to have my nickname for the rope incident. It was Jump Rope Cope was the nickname I got, because no one apparently has ever leaped over a comm cord ever. So I don't know. But anyways, so Alaska was awesome. Denny's Lumberjack special. We made masks out of the ham. It was one of the, you got to be there. Anyway, so a lot of alcohol was involved. From that point on, it was freaking smooth sailing. And I went to Korea afterwards, and he came there later on. I was like, hey, you know, what's going on? Blah, blah. And then I left Korea and went to Nellis. And one day I was QA in Nellis, and I heard his voice. And I was like, what? Is that who I think it is? I walked in there and there he was, and I was like, oh my gosh. And that was like a year or two after, and then I came back here to Kadena, and we stayed in contact, and I told him that our previous chief had left, he's PCS'd, and that there was a spot open, and obviously joke around that you should apply for it or whatever. He's like, no, I bleed blue, because we were in 44th year last time, but this time in the best squadron, which is the 67th, Fighting Cox, you know. And he was like, no, I bleed blue, and I'm like, oh, well, you might want to bleed red this time. And funny how things happened, because he became our chief in red, and it was awesome. And oh man, that one of the best chiefs I've ever had the privilege to work with. And yeah, so that's the short story of how we met, and I am gonna miss him a lot. So Mike, if you're listening or watching, thank you for everything that you've done for me and for our squadron. I know the guys are going to miss the Free Food Fridays and a lot of your mentorship. And that's it. That's it. You're a good friend of mine, and I hope to see you once I get out. And yeah. So anyways, this episode is dedicated to you, and I hope you enjoy your ribs. And I will talk to you later. All right, guys. So I forgot to show you real quick what the ribs that I'm gonna eat with my wife, the non-sugar rubbed ribs. So they turned out pretty damn good. If you see them, a lot of bone pullback, and they're very, very tender, like my wife likes them. But since I can't use the other barbecue sauce, I had to use the sugar-free, hickory flavored sauce. Never had it before, but it's award-winning, so let's see if it works here. I'm just going to spread this on a little bit. Just a little bit. Spread it out. Smells pretty good. and I'm gonna just coat it, and I'm gonna put it back on the smoker for an hour, just like the other ones. And I'm gonna eat some of them before I go into work. All right, that's all I wanted to show you. Just how it looks with my rub that I made specifically for my wife and I. All right. Okay, guys. So real quick, my battery's dying on my camera. This is the ribs. They're done. I'm going to cut them up because my friend requested them to be cut. So we're gonna go ahead and dig into these. I know I don't have the right knife. I just don't have time to mess around. So I'm gonna cut in the halfway point here. Woo, man, that went right through. Not bad, not bad, not bad. All right, guys. Well, that's about it right there. I gotta hurry up. I know. I'm sorry, but oh, it's juicy too. Oh, okay. I gotta hurry, wrap these up, and get going. So thanks for watching.